How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams from the Hard Gainer Academy, and what I want to talk about is why the diet approach sucks. I know what you're saying, but Dre, don't we need to go on a diet in order to reach our goals, whether that's building muscle or losing fat? And the answer is no. The best approach is actually the 80-20 rule, which is what I show myself and also show my clients. We do this day in and day out and get results sustainably. So what this means, the results that you get, you keep them and you keep it for the long term. The problem with diets, it's very short term, it's temporary in nature. Many dads that I work with, they'll say, hey, I went on this diet for a few months, say, hey, you know what, it was good, but I ended up putting all the weight back on. It just didn't work for me. Maybe the diet's just not right for me. And the answer is, of course it's not right for you. If you notice that you go on a diet and then you end up putting that weight back on, or you end up where you started, do you really think that diet is worth your time or even worth the money that you actually put into it? Of course not. So good examples of this, we got keto, we got intermittent fasting, we got the cabbage soup diet, we got the apple diet, we even got the juice diet. The problem with all of these diets is you're not really getting the opportunity to learn anything from them. And that is why you're unable to keep your results. So what do I mean? So when you go on keto, you're told, hey, you know what? You only can have protein. You got to make sure you can't eat any carbs whatsoever. You got to be super low and you got to eat a certain amount of fat. And then you start doing that. And then you're like, wait a second. This is something there's no way I could do long term. And then you're thinking, hey, reason why I can't do it long term, because I got to deal with food restrictions. In most cases, I got to eat food that I don't really enjoy. And in other situations, you know what? I'm just doing this because I have this goal that I want to achieve. Even though as hard as the road gets, I'm still going to get there. Hope you guys can see my sarcasm and what I'm saying here. Those are not great situations or factors to put yourself in when it comes to getting closer to your goals. Instead, you want to focus on the way that you can eat where it actually works with your lifestyle. And what do I mean by this? And I'm going to be talking about the approach that I use. The 80-20 rule, and my clients as well, is 80% of the foods that you eat are going to help you get closer to your goals. Right? Whether it's building muscle or losing fat. So these foods are going to be healthy, they're going to be nutritious, and they're going to have enough protein so you can build muscle and build strength. The other 20% will be those guilty pleasures, those foods that you enjoy. I'm going to use myself as an example. I love popcorn. I love potato chips. All right? Sometimes you probably heard when I was doing it back in the day, we had nachos, pasta, stuff like that, right? I have that 20% of the time, but 80% of the time, I make sure my food's on point. And the reason why this approach works, and it works very well, is because you're staying consistent the most of the time. When you go on a certain particular diet, it's an all or nothing approach. You gotta follow it to a T. The moment you fall off or you do something outside of that diet, everything falls apart. You start blaming yourself. You start saying, man, I screwed up. Start self-doubting that you can actually get closer to your goals because you can't follow some food restrictions. So what I'm here to tell you is do the 80-20, especially if you are a dad like myself. One experience that a dad was telling me the other day, he said, hey, Dre, when I was doing keto, it was one of the worst things ever when it came to being around my family. So I couldn't eat what they had for dinner. I couldn't eat what they had for lunch and so forth. So I had to have a separate plate. That was taking time out of my day. I had to prepare it, put it together, or I had to ask my woman to prepare it or put it together and so forth. And she had a lot of stuff going on already. It was being an inconvenience on his lifestyle. So many people will do it for a certain amount of months or a certain amount of days. And then they start realizing this in the end and they're like, you know what, the hell with it. This fitness thing is too hard. So what I want to tell you is do something that fits your lifestyle. Now that this gentleman is working with me and he's doing the 80-20 rule, he can enjoy eating foods that he normally eats with his family. His life is a lot more easier. On top of that, he doesn't have to deal with any mental struggles or even having to feel guilty about anything because he could still enjoy those foods that he was eating before and that he normally eats. So Here's my question for you. Do you really think a diet is worth it in the long run? I'm hoping after this video is over that you're gonna stop Googling, hey, which diet I should go on. Because what I'm here to tell you is, it's just not worth it. If you are working with a coach or a trainer that is telling you, hey, you need to be on this diet to get results, I want you to fire him or her. Get rid of them. Because the reason is, you don't need to do the all or nothing approach. You don't need to go hard all the way in. What you need to do is focus on being consistent. And being consistent is getting that balance that will help you live your life stress-free while getting the body that you want. And if you are a dad, I'm gonna say this again, we have too many things in our lives that we have to worry about. Too many things that we gotta take care of to put ourselves through that unnecessary stress of being on a diet. Instead, strive for balance. If you have any questions, or hey, you might wanna be like, hey, how does this 80-20 rule work, Dre? Let me know more about it. Then you can send me a message, or you can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Facebook. Hey, I'm everywhere. On Instagram, my name is Andre Williams Fit. On Facebook, hey, that's just Andre Williams, and so forth. Again, you could also leave a comment inside the comment section as well, and I'll hit you up as well and see how we can help you out, all right? Hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll be talking to you guys real soon. Peace out.